People can see us.
Yes, we are live now.
We are live now.
So, are we live?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see live.
So, hello friends. Good evening and a warm welcome. Should I start my program? I hope you all can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, friends, what a beautiful piece of art to be graced on a stage while a spectator muses over. A poet's fervor finds a surface. The joy of pouring out is in abundance. In a literary realm, the poet shows palpable predominance. With this, friends, a warm welcome to all of you. I have come before you with a basket full of verses of various moods and rhythms, along with my worthy companions. Friends, this is our first step towards the celebration of our forthcoming third annual Asian Literary Conference, which is going to take place on 23rd of October. And so, representing Asian Literary Society Admin Group and Evening of Verses, to people whom I am new, I am Dr. Bishakha Sarma, and I'm a linguist who specializes in the documentation of lesser-known endangered languages. I also love writing, both prose and poems. This is all about me. Now introducing you to all my poet companions. Bina Pillai, all of you know her well. She's a beautiful soul, a brilliant writer, and a soulful poetess. Recently, she published a novel Under the Mango Tree, which was listed as the highest rated book of 2019. Her first published book is Lyrical Rhythms of My Heart. And there's another poetry book coming up, Mystical Dewdrops. So we'll hear from Bina some poems. And one next poet companion is Dr. Aparna Bagwe. Dr. Aparna Bagwe was a senior scientist at ACTREC Tata Memorial Center, Navi Mumbai. Since she retired in October 2018, she started focusing on her passions, that's traveling, photography, and writing. She has published many poems, and she is a nature-loving poetess. And then we have amongst us Santhini Govindan, who is a widely published, award-winning author of children's literature in English. She has written 50 books and also English language readers for school curricula. Her works include poetry, picture books, and short stories. Finally, Mr. Manoj Krishnan, he doesn't need any introduction, the founder of the most popular literary group, Asian Literary Society. His ink flows for both prose and poetry with the same intensity. He has published books both in Hindi and English and several anthologies. So this is all about the introduction of all the poets. Now, I start with my first poem. So representing Asian Literary Society, An Evening of Verses. My first poem, The Year That Was Not. There was a wait. There was a wait for 2018. There was a wait for 2018 for the events were designed, plans out, duties assigned, destinations decided, dates marked, paths measured, but the year that was not. The year that was not to lay bare, but must. Not to ramble and roam, but pause at home. The year that could not materialize the habitual harmony. The dreams were forsaken. People were petrified. Lives were terminated. Homes shattered. The society stood withdrawn. For the year that was not. The year that was not to lay bare. The year that was not to lay bare, but must. Not to ramble and roam, but pause at home. The year that drew up schools and institutions, theatre, plaza and cafe. The conferences and the summits, the musical fests and the elation of Olympics. For the year that was not. The year that was not to lay bare, but must. Not to ramble and roam, but pause at home. The year when nature imparts a lesson to sustain the planet of its biodiversification. While humans rest, the animals thrive. The roads shun the chaos. The sky appears azure. The family finds a peaceful home. The bond strengthens and the gloom cures. For the year that was not. The year that was not to lay bare, but must. Not to ramble and roam, but pause at home. For the year that was not. The year that is not. The year is not to lay bare, but must. Not to ramble and roam, but pause at home. And
Okay.
next.
Very nice.
Next I go to Bina Pillai.
Someone's door. What's happening?
Yeah, Bina, please recite your poem.
Okay. I'm going to recite a poem, Sexual Violence. It's from my next book, Mystical Dewdrops. Today, sexual violence is rampant in our country. It's a pity no one wants to take any responsibility. If we look into her eyes, we can see her intense pain, but we prefer to look away and not complain. And they silence her that she feels helpless and slain. Her attire or character becomes the excuse for her torture. The violence is about power, control, and sexual desire. The society blames her is a matter of great despair. But how do we explain when a child becomes a victim and little boys are sodomized without any care? I saw this little girl crying in extreme pain. Her mother ran from pillar to post, but in vain. It's just fatherly love, said the man. Don't make a human cry, she'll be fine. 2 days later, the child was found dumped near her lane. It's perpetrated by caregivers, relatives, and strangers. Sexual violence can occur at any age to anybody. If they cannot silence them, they attack their credibility. Even then, we do not care because we cannot comprehend is caged, bruised, and raped. Their pain and bitterness cannot be gauged. The victim feels depressed and ashamed. But even when I think of it, my heart cries for the victims who are innocent and die. We must have an all-women police station where we can walk in safely and complain. The police officers to be trained and sensitized to help the victims overcome their shame and pain. The streets to be brightly lit with police vans patrolling in dark alleys. Can we have one police chowki, please? Can you give us one number to call even at midnight, where we won't be taunted or tormented anymore, anytime. But a hand to hold and say, don't worry, you'll be fine. When will we make India safe for every woman and child? Please, can someone help so that no one feels exiled? Thank you so much.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Very moving, actually.
Thank
I'm going next with my poem. Manoj, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, you
you.
can.
Little more louder.
Please start.
Okay. Since I'm having problem with my sound system. The poem that I'm reading is focusing on the dark side of life. Some of y'all who know my writing know that I tend to write often on death. My poem is titled The Reel of Life. My eyes fell on the brightly burning flame of the ancient book of knowledge, set aflame by unknown zealots who dashed out of the darkness, did their dastardly deeds, and disappeared quickly out of sight. As the crisply burnt embers flew about in circles, this way and that, in the still dark moonless night, they brought clearly to my mind, like a film played out before my eyes, the split second of life before death. The happiness of parents at the birth of their daughter, the gaiety and frolic of the child during her childhood, the demureness of the young girl as a blushing bride, her growing maturity with age and experience, her wisdom and kindness in old age, ultimately ending on her funeral pyre. The flames that my mind's eye saw were fanned by fanaticism on one side and the grieving relatives on the other, over and over played the reel of life through the burnt out embers of the ancient book and of a life well lived. That's it. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice.
Santhini.
Yes. So I'm going to read a children's poem. I wrote this poem many, many years ago when I was in my 30s, and my eldest child, he used to come home from school every day with something missing. I'm sure as parents you are all familiar with this. Where is your water bottle? I forgot. One of the textbooks, I forgot. Every day he would forget something. And so I idea of writing about the land of I forgot. And I must tell you that the boy who inspired this poem, he is now in his 30s, and I am a grandmother, and I think now I go more to the land of I forgot, because I forget very often. So I'm going to read the poem. The land of I forgot. My mother says I'm careless and too forgetful of my things. However hard I try, there'll always be something missing. My pencils and pens vanish without a trace. I try to keep them safe, but they are never in the same place. My water bottles and lunch boxes always seem to be left behind. I search so hard for them, but they are impossible to find. Where are your things? My mother cries out in a loud, angry shout. Very quietly I say, I forgot, I forgot. I often sit and wonder where all my lost things are. Perhaps they are in a mysterious land, somewhere afar, in a magical place called the land of I forgot. A place where we can find everything that we have ever lost. What an interesting place the land of I forgot must be, with hundreds of lost things to see. Forgotten pencils and pens and lunch boxes and water bottles abound. There are lost purses, spectacles, and umbrellas that have never been found. The best thing about the land of I forgot is that nobody minds if you are forgetful or not. Someday I'm going to go there and look around, and who knows what wonderful things are there to be found. I will come back with a sack full of things I have lost before. Can you imagine my mother's face when she comes and meets me at the door? Where did you get them? She will say. All my lost things come tumbling out. And for once, I won't say I forgot. But till I get a chance to go to that magical place afar, things will be just the way they are. Where are your things? My mother will say with a shout. And I will sadly say, I'm sorry, I forgot. So this
Very
is
nice, very nice.
Very nice.
of the book.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So it seems there's some problem at the Aparna side. So in meantime, I'm switching over the screen, and just a minute. Let's see if Aparna has joined. Okay, no. So actually, we are having one 10 days challenge going on. So I was just thinking which poem I should read. Then all of a sudden I realized why should not I read the poem which I have written in last 2 days. So one of them which I quickly jotted down on 15th of October, that is The Last Soldier. The first ray of sun touched his closed eyes. In his unconscious body germinated a new life. Amidst hundreds of lifeless souls, he was alive. Indeed, it was a miracle. He was also surprised. Mustering up the courage, he wished to get up, to know, like him, who else our chosen one. No familiar faces. Probably he was the only one. Thanking Almighty, he longed to meet his family. His wives, kids must be waiting for him so desperately. But all he found only strange faces coming closer. It's shocking. He had not seen any one of them ever. And his eyes got fixed at the calendar on the wall. Perhaps the 20 long years have already passed. He jerked, shouted aloud, and slumped on the door, and slumped to the floor. How could that deadly strike have just left him alone? Not sure how to step in again in his changed world, where he was just a painful past for his loved ones. His lips trembled, and silent tears flooded his eyes. The last soldier wished he too would have martyred. Thank you.
Very nice. So I start my poem. The next poem, Aparna is probably coming. She has come.
Thank you.
Manoj?
Okay.
I'm back.
Yes.
All
So,
about.
Yeah.
so I start my second poem.
Yeah.
So friends, I'll be reciting a poem which is one of my favorite number, and I've performed this poem in many places. So this is the changing face of a society. There are two girls. One girl votes for sari, and the other girl votes for gowns or skirt. Okay. Now the girl who is wearing sari talks about sari this way. We in sari set the ambience of formal strides. In any motley gathering, we emerge in pride. Each occasion decides its plethora of fabric and design. The nation salutes our sovereignty and ethnic style. The traditional beauty manifests in our bearing. The stone-studded jewelry only in a sari appears embellished. Our attire gleams against the silhouette of our graceful femininity. We are applauded by the masses, being labeled as a mark of dignity. Now, the girl who votes for gowns or skirt says this way: we in gowns and skirts are no less modish and smart. Our taste is affected by a disposition striking and stark. The costume reflects our credence, nonetheless falls in length. We titivate our nerve and confirm our feminine strength. Few can attire an apparel, for her gain should fit her assets. The she-folk, I know, envy, for the preen for youthful elegance. But for some, it is not style, but a quotidian, a liberal persona defined. For some, it is not style, but a quotidian, a liberal persona defined. We think and act alike. It is not the fabric, but our modesty shines. We, in this changing society, neither pretend nor frantically run a race. It is essentially a clear-sighted, rational mind which gracefully mirrors our face. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very nice. Very nice, Bishakha.
Bina.
I'm going to recite a poem from my first book, Lyrical Rhythms of My Heart. Beautiful people do not just happen. It's a true story. Riya is my niece's daughter, a beautiful 8-year-old with eyes that twinkle like the stars, innocent, kind, and bold. She adores her little brother. If anyone bullies him, she warns them twice and then sets them straight. She is unique and different. She was adopted when she was a baby, tiny and dainty like a daisy. The parents worked on her with love and devotion. They created an awareness that took her to great heights. One day, they had a seminar in school on breast cancer. Though she listened intently, she could not understand. When she came home, she asked her mother, "Mom, I want to help them. Is there anything I can do?" Her mother held her close and said, "Darling, that's very nice of you. Why don't you donate your hair?" Her hair was long and silky. You can see her hair. She's got very long hair. Can you see that? Her hair was long and silky. It was her pride. She oiled and brushed it every single night. That night, she lay wondering how sad that girl would have been with no hair on her head. Teary-eyed, Riya fell asleep. She lost her hair. It did not matter, as she knew it would grow again. This time, it would go to another child who was waiting in the line. I wish every child would read this and help children like these. Then the world would become a better place, one full of joy and peace. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice.
Okay, I'm going
Aparna?
next. Yeah, I'll just give a brief introduction. After the first dark poem, here is one which is very, very light. It's written by the child in me for the child in you.
Yeah, thank you.
The title is The Snake and I. As the wind rustled through the dry grass, my eyes spotted a large rat's carcass. The absence of stink meant it was not long dead. The obvious reason was its killer had not yet fed. The rustling got closer and still closer to me. To my shock, in a few minutes, I got to see two shiny eyes, an open mouth, and jutting fangs. It was a large snake experiencing hunger pangs. My eyes noted that it was brown colored, not banded, nor reticulated, nor even hooded. A sigh of relief escaped my stone-dry lips as I stepped back, holding stiff my hips. The large reptilian looked at me and I at it. The dead rat for its meal had been deemed fit. One twist of its long body and it took its prey. I rushed to the temple to offer thanks and to pray. Unexpected situations we often do face in life. Our latent fears cause much pain and strife. Ground reality is usually more simple to face, especially when we try to avoid the rat race. Thank
Oh,
you.
very nice, very
Very
nice,
nice.
very
nice.
good one.
Something.
Yeah. So the next poem I'm reading is a short poem. So it was inspired by the fact that I think, like most people, I never have enough of time. At the end of the day, there'll always be so much left that I haven't done, and then I say, "Oh, I wish I had a little more time." Actually, it's because I haven't planned properly. So then I thought, how wonderful it would be if there was a store where we could go and we could buy time, just like we buy bread and butter and sabji. This poem is now taught in Standard 5. It is in the Orient Black Swan textbook. And the children like it very much because they love the idea of buying time. So I have used time as not only the hours and the minutes, but as the seasons and as the days. So it's called Shopping for Time. If there was a wonderful store somewhere that we could step into to buy time, I would be a regular customer there, because I'm always running short of time. I would buy small packages of 5 or 10 extra minutes to make me stretch my hours a little more and linger lazily in my bed in the mornings for just a few precious minutes more. I would surely buy some lazy Sunday afternoons and lots of sunny summer days too. But I'm sure that I will not buy any Monday mornings because they remind me of all the work ahead for me to do.
Very, very good one.
Very nice.
Nice.
Good one.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
a short poem. So it's studied by the 9 and 10-year-olds.
Okay.
Nice.
Great,
Very
great.
good choice for the kids.
Nice one.
Very nice. Manoj.
Okay. So again, the next poem that I am going to read is from ongoing 10 days challenge. So yesterday, Aparna ji actually gave one topic, heritage. So I was thinking what to write in night when I got time. So the first thing that flashed in my mind was like many Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal. So you did
Huh.
it last night, is it?
Yeah, last night after my office hours, I quickly
Wow.
wrote it.
Very
So,
good. Very good.
so whenever we hear about heritage, Taj Mahal and Lal Killa, basically that flashes in our mind. So this poem is basically an ode to Taj Mahal, an architectural marvel erected on a foundation of love, clad in ivory white marble. It houses the imperial tomb. Like a crown, the colossal dome is mounted on the top, and 4 majestic minarets frame its imperial oblong. Where verses of the Quran are inscribed on each wall, this mausoleum has witnessed Mughals rise and fall. In the gentle zephyr blowing through the latticed walls, you will feel the eternal love of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz. A glimpse of this wonder glowing in the moonlit night, or its breathtaking panoramic view in effulgent sunrise. For the weary souls, it brings some moments of respite, who bask in the gamut of love, resonating in its aisles. Enduring all ordeals of the turbulent past, it stands tall. This incredible monument enraptures the whole world. a priceless gem of our heritage that never lost its sheen. Taj Mahal is not just a monument, but our nation's pride. Thank you.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Very nice. So I believe we come to an end to our evening of verses. Thank you, all poets. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I believe
Bishakha.
the viewers should comment, and we know the feedback. We get the feedback of the viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
all
you.
the poets.
Thank
It was
all
a
of you.
great experience.
Thank you all the
Bye.
poets.
And thank you all the audience. Bye.
Manoj,
Thank
Thank
you,
you all.
Manoj.